Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. This is going to be my non-spoiler review for Justice League. Got back from seeing the film probably about an hour ago or so. I posted my immediate reaction after seeing the film on Twitter. I posted a mini review on Stardust, but I wanted to wait a little bit before I started recording this official review for my YouTube channel. I wanted to give it some time. And even after all this time of thinking, I really enjoy this movie. I really enjoy this film. The Justice League, in my personal opinion, it works. It really works. Sure, there is some problems with the movie. Yes, I will admit that. But overall, I think with the complete package, thinking about everything, not singling things out, but just think about everything that this movie offers, I enjoyed it. I really did. And I can't wait to talk into spoilers, but I'm not going to do that in this video, obviously. But I'm going to go over the individual characters, go over some of these side characters as well, the villain, and overall my thoughts about the action, the humor, all that kind of stuff. Let's jump in first with the first character, which, of course, come on, we got to start off with the big one, Bruce Wayne, Batman, Ben Affleck. His portrayal as Batman in this film is a little bit different than BVS, but we kind of saw hints of that at the end of Batman vs. Superman, where he was going a little bit of a different direction, going a little bit more towards being more positive, optimistic, if you can say that about Bruce Wayne. But he's taking on a leadership role. As we see in the trailers and all that, he's trying to form the League, and they immediately get into why he's wanting to at the very beginning of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was really cool because I didn't expect him, like, what's going on here? And then it clicked. As soon as this thing popped up, this thing happened. Yep, this is the whole thing. So it's been a whole plan in motion, and it was pretty cool to see. But I really enjoyed his performance. We all know, everyone knows at this point, all the rumors about is he going to come back? Is he going to be in the solo film? Whatever. It's still troubling, but regardless of all that, I think he did a great job in this film. I loved his portrayal. There was some humor with him a little bit. A little bit. It was a little bit different, but I overall enjoyed his performance, and I hope he comes back. Just one more time, please. But I really enjoyed his performance in this film. Big thumbs up for me. One of my personal favorite characters from the film. Next up, once again, Gal Gadot shines. Okay, in Batman vs. Superman, when she first shows up in BVS, it was a standout moment. People in my audience, when I saw the film opening night, clapping, oh my god, yes. And then her standalone film is, holy shit, amazing. It is so good, her standalone movie. And once again, she shines in this movie. Really enjoyed her performance. She's the mother of the Justice League, basically, which is great. I think that she did that role pretty well. Her action scenes in this film is phenomenal. I forgot to mention Bruce Wayne as well, but I'll get to more action in a second. But, oh, flicker there. Anyways, I'm recording with OBS. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I really enjoyed her performance. I really liked the fact that she kind of has a side job, which they hinted at in Wonder Woman, but she has a job besides being Wonder Woman, and seeing her being more of a person that inspires others, and they went over that in this film, and they cover some backstory. They cover a little bit about what happened in Wonder Woman, so you better go see Wonder Woman first before you go into this movie. It's not a requirement, but they cover a little bit of some of the stuff that happens in Wonder Woman in this film, kind of a continuation, if you will. So I recommend watching Wonder Woman if you haven't seen it. Don't know why you haven't seen it yet, but you really should. But Gal Gadot, once again, stands out. She's not playing Wonder Woman. She is Wonder Woman in this movie, and I really enjoyed her performance. Okay, let's get some of the newbies now. Aquaman. So, what we saw in the trailers, I really dug it. As he says in the trailers, I dig it. I dig Aquaman. The way they were kind of showing in the trailers, the way they were going to interpret Aquaman in this film, I'm like, okay, I'm liking this so far. And I liked it. I really enjoyed his performance. I'm really excited for his solo film. I won't get into any real specifics, but they do some teasing here or there, and it really makes you go, oh, I want an Aquaman movie. We're getting one next year. We're getting one. I'm really excited about that. But what they showed of him, I really enjoyed. My only real critique is that, in my personal opinion, they didn't show him enough in this movie. Now, look, we've heard rumors and speculation. Well, you will see the movie and see there are some things cut from this movie. And you will notice that as soon as you're done watching, hey, I remember seeing that in the trailer, and it's not there. Some of that happens, and I do think that, I don't know, I can't confirm this, but my guess is there is some Aquaman stuff they probably cut out, probably holding off until you see the actual Aquaman film. Maybe they revealed too much that they were going to talk about in Aquaman. I don't know. But I feel like that they could have used him a little bit more in this movie, but what they gave us of Jason Momoa's Aquaman, I really dug it. I dig it. And I'm excited to see his solo film. But I'll talk more about what he does in the film in terms of action, all that kind of stuff, in a little bit when we get to overall action, overall humor, and all that kind of stuff. The Flash. Now, this is a big thing that everyone's been asking me. As soon as I got home, I got a direct message from a fan of mine, really cool dude. And he said, how was Ezra Miller as the Flash? And I said, one word, good. In my personal opinion, he's one of the standout characters in the film. He's one of the standouts. He is so damn funny. I love when he runs. And what you learn in this film, and it's not really a spoiler because they have shown it in the trailers a little bit, he's not running around as the Flash for like all this time. He's brand new at it. He's basically brand new at it. And it's really funny to kind of see him go up against the parademon Steppenwolf. And he's with this group of people and he's like, what? Like, he's really confused at times. And he is the comedic relief, but everyone has their comedic moments. But the Flash really stands out. And I love the Flash TV show, Grant Gustin as the Flash on the CW show. And people kept asking, who do you like more, Grant or Ezra? I'm like, I need to see the film first. I really dig his Barry Allen. I really do. You see those like hyper upbeat moments with him. He is like I said, the comedic relief of this film. But there's other comedic things going on besides him. But he really adds a lot of funniness to this film. Is that even a way to say it? But regardless, really enjoy his performance. And I'm excited to see Flashpoint. Even though they're going to do Flashpoint, it's going to be really different. I'm excited to see him in a solo film, but I really enjoyed his portrayal in this film, and I think that he was a standout character in this movie. Let's scroll down here a little bit. 2, the wild card. Now, at least for me, the wild card, Cyborg, Ray Fisher. So when I saw the trailers and saw the way he looks, I personally didn't have a problem with his look in the film, in the trailers when they were showing how he looks and all that stuff. It didn't really bother me. Obviously, the first trailer, there was obviously going to be, they were going to update the CGI, make it look a little bit better. I think he looks great in the film for what we saw, and I didn't know how I was going to respond because, in my personal opinion, the Teen Titans animated show, the original, not Teen Titans Go, the original Teen Titans animated show is, my personal opinion, one of the best animated shows ever made. And I love that Cyborg. I love that portrayal. Seeing this Cyborg, he's a little more calm, a little bit more collected. And obviously he went through a huge tragedy in BVS, what we saw in the videotape. And obviously in this film, not going to go into really too much spoilers, but he's obviously still dealing with the after effects of that situation. What happened to him? And obviously, you kind of figured they were going to cover that a little bit in this movie. And they do. And I think overall, I enjoyed his performance. I think he did a pretty good job. I wasn't really sure. Like, I was going to go in, give it a shot. I enjoyed what I saw, but that doesn't mean I like him in the trailer. That means I'm going to like him in the film. I could have hated him, but I thought he did a pretty good job. And I'm interested to see a Cyborg movie. Even though they announced a Cyborg movie years ago, I don't know if they're going to do a Cyborg movie, but I would think if he gets a great response from general audiences that see this film and they really react to his portrayal and they really enjoy his character, my guess is WB is probably going to move forward with a Cyborg movie pretty quick because he is not a standout character, but he did give a good performance, and I want to know more about him. I want to see what happens to him, what's next for a Cyborg after this movie. So I'm pretty excited about that. Am I missing somebody? Am I missing somebody? Oh, yeah. This guy. Now, as we all know, well, you should know, Superman, the worst kept secret ever. The worst kept secret. Superman's in the movie. Not going to tell you how. Not going to tell you why. Not going to tell you anything. All I'm going to say, this is some good shit. I really enjoyed it. Exciting. I won't get into specifics. I will talk more in depth about this, about him, and the spoiler discussion, spoiler live. I'm going to go live on Sunday and talk about this in depth, but yep. So that's all. I'll leave it there. Dig it. I dig it, but I won't go into details. Okay, let's talk about the villain. So, when you look at early reactions on Twitter, when you look at written reviews, video reviews on YouTube or whatever other website with videos, a lot of people agree that Steppenwolf, they all agree on one thing, which is Steppenwolf is, in their personal opinion, a really bad villain, a weak villain. There was no reason for him to be a CGI villain. They could have used an actual person as Steppenwolf. They didn't have to make him a CGI villain. Here's how I see it. Is it Steppenwolf? Steppenwolf? Regardless, that's not the point. This guy. The thing is that he's not an amazing villain, but he's not like a crap dumpster fire villain. I think he's a decent villain. They do go over the reasoning why he's here, why he's invading Earth. They do go over that. I think he had some great lines. I forget the actor's name who portrays the voice, but I will obviously look into that once I'm done with this. I know he's from Game of Thrones. Syrian Hines, something like that. I probably butchered that name. I'm very sorry. People pointed out that the CGI for Steppenwolf was kind of off. I felt it was fine. I didn't really notice a huge thing with the CGI with him. But to me, I think he served as a decent villain to unite the League. The reasoning why he's there, what he is planning on doing, which we all can kind of assume by the trailers, is a pretty good reason why the Justice League needs to form. So I think he did his job. His job was to try to destroy the world and cause the Justice League to form. He didn't count on that, but I think that he did that this was an okay villain. It wasn't, like I said, 10 out of 10 best villain ever. It wasn't a dumpster fire villain. I think he was a decent villain for his purpose, which is be a villain that unites the Justice League. And he wasn't betting on that for sure. Let's talk about some of the other secondary characters real quick. Jim Gordon, Martha Kent, Mara, and Lois Lane. Now, some have more of a role than others, but I felt overall they did a great job for their roles. I'm not going to go into real too specifics, but I think Jim Gordon was great. Martha Kent was okay until a certain thing happens. A certain thing happens. Get what I'm hinting at here? A certain thing happens. Mara, really enjoyed Mara. We've seen a little bit of her in the trailers and TV spots, but they held off a little bit on Mara, a little bit. They didn't want to show too much of her, but what we got, I really dig, and it's another reason for me to get hyped for Aquaman. Lois Lane serves a big purpose in this movie. You can kind of figure out why Martha and Lois are really important. You can kind of figure out that, Just saying. And there's other characters as well that I really don't go over, which is, of course, Victor Stone, Cyborg's father, and Connie Nelson. Is that her saying? I think that's how I pronounce her name, as Wonder Woman's mother. Hippolyta. I'm butchering. I'm blanking on her name at the moment, but she did a great job in this movie. Wonder Woman's mama. But yeah, pretty good stuff there with these secondary characters. Now, let's talk about overall action. I feel like the action in this film was great. There were some really cool, fun moments with the action, and there was some intense action. I'm not going to go into specifics, but there's a lot of action in this movie, and a lot of it is stemmed off of one particular thing, and it's cool that we see different fight scenes going on. Like, it's not like where you see one fight scene and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the film. Like the fight scenes that take place in this film, some of them were shown more than others in trailers, were really well done, and obviously you can tell sometimes there's a little bit CGI going on in the mix, but the action I felt was great. Great teamwork from the Justice League during action scenes. Really dug the action. And people keep asking online, is there an epic Batman sequence like in Batman vs. Superman? Not going to go into spoilers, but I will say if you're a Batman fan, you will be happy with way Bruce Wayne is handled in the action in this movie. But realistically, you should be more excited for the rest of the Justice League's action moments because it's pretty damn good. Humor. Now, I mentioned how the Flash is overall the comic relief. He really is. The Flash, Barry Allen, is the comic relief. He had the most jokes. A lot of them landed. Some missed, but that's okay. You don't have to have every single joke land for it to work. And what's crazy is that all the other characters, and some of them were shown in the trailers, some of the other comedic moments, but there's a lot of comedic moments they kind of hid from the trailers from the other characters that I think is great. Um, so yeah, that works. I know that people were liking the tone of BVS where they only made like one or two jokes the entire film. I feel like with them all together, and the fact that the Flash is in the mix, and the fact that they're portraying Aquaman a little bit differently, the humor just overall works with all these characters, and I think it really adds more depth to the film when you add some humor into this because it's the end of the world, presumably. It's the end of the world. Maybe it's not the best time to make jokes, but it doesn't feel forced. Like in my personal opinion, the jokes don't feel forced for the most part. I feel like it was good. It was good to have some humor, especially from Barry Allen. But it was good to have humor from all these characters in a sense. But there were some great emotional moments as well. Won't go into too much detail, but there were some great emotional moments I really dug. Now, I talked a lot of positives. Some of my negatives, which I kind of hit a little negative about. I wanted more Aquaman. Um, there is some CGI moments in this film that were very noticeable. Now, I won't go into spoilers per se, but there are a couple of shots that are very noticeable with CGI. Now, you might have missed stories about reshoots, but there are some noticeable CGI moments where it's pretty obvious it's CGI and they could have had a little bit more time to polish. But other than that, I think the CGI was great. But there's just some particular moments. And when you watch the movie, you will notice these moments. And if you don't catch it, that's great. Because, see, I saw it with my mom and stepdad. I asked both of them about particular shots that I was singling out. And they went, no, I really didn't notice it. Like, they didn't really notice it. And they weren't really following up with reshoots and all this kind of stuff going on. But if you understand what I'm talking about reshoots and CGI, you can kind of guess what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it outright here in the non-spoiler review. But yeah, there are some noticeable ones. I'm like, yeah, they could do a little bit better on that. But they did the best they could. But other than that, the CGI for the most part worked, except for a few shots. The film was very fast-paced. A lot of jumping around, but I think it's more cohesive than the theatrical cut of BVS. It flows better than the BVS theatrical cut that had a lot of cuts. Could this film have been better with like 10, 15 minutes more footage of maybe scenes already in the film expanded on and a few more scenes that were cut out entirely added back into the mix? Maybe. There's been rumors and speculation. It's not confirmed. Obviously, we have no clue. But there is rumors that there will be an ultimate cut of this film alongside the theatrical release. I'm not really sure if that's going to happen. But my guess is that Warner Bros. Might release an ultimate cut just because it will make them more money and it will get everyone who liked this film or at least thought it was okay and they want to see more. They might end up getting the ultimate cut to see what was added in, what scenes were expanded upon, and all that. But I think this film could have been a little bit better if it was a little bit longer. But that's just me. I know a lot of people have been questioning too about Zack Snyder gets the director. He gets the director credit. How was it noticeable the Joss Whedon reshoots? It's hard for me to say. My guess is that the CGI moments, which I won't get into specifics, but you can kind of guess what that is. Like I said, I'm not going to say it out front here in the non-spoiler review. Those, I could tell, might be Joss Whedon reshoots, but it didn't feel like Joss Whedon changed the tone. In my personal opinion, the tone stayed the same throughout the entire film. Now maybe watching it again a couple more times, maybe I'll change. I see some tone shifts after seeing it a few more times. But right now, I don't see a tone shift, but you can tell sometimes when there is a reshoot. But it doesn't take me out of the film because I knew there was reshoots going into the mix. But I like the way the film ends. I like what they did here. It's not a perfect film. It's not a dumpster fire. I really dug it. My rating for this probably has to be an 8.5, an 8.75 out of 10. That number might go higher after seeing it again. It might go lower. I don't think it will go lower, but it might go higher after a second viewing. And if there is an ultimate cut that gets released with more footage in the mix, maybe my rating will go higher because my theatrical cut review for BVS was really positive, but then I saw the ultimate cut and went, theatrical cut, you just dropped down a little bit. So if we get an ultimate cut of this film, whether it's 15 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer, whatever the case may be, the rumor was this movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes and they cut it down and with reshoots and just cutting out things entirely. That's just rumor, can't confirm. But if that's the case, then I want it, and I want to see what happens with this cut. If there's an ultimate cut or a director's cut or whatever, maybe this theatrical cut will go lower, the director ultimate cut will go higher. I don't know. But for what it is, Justice League, now in theaters, as I'm recording this review, I really dug it, and I'm probably going to see it again in a couple of days. I'm curious to know your thoughts. If you saw the film, let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you liked, what you didn't like about the film. Curious to know your thoughts. As always, I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.